Here's a shocking truth that will make your jaw drop. Some parents are literally using their children as props for the ultimate wildlife selfie, and what happened at Yellowstone will leave you speechless. Witnessing adults voluntarily place their own children in mortal danger should automatically disqualify them from any parenting recognition whatsoever. I wish I could say I'm exaggerating. But what you're about to read involves a parent actually coaxing their small child to approach a massive bison for a photo opportunity at Yellowstone National Park. When footage like this surfaces and spreads across social media platforms, it genuinely infuriates me to my core. But here's where it gets controversial. Should we hold these parents legally accountable for what essentially amounts to reckless endangerment? Every single summer season, Yellowstone National Park becomes ground zero for an utterly baffling phenomenon that seems to exclusively target visitors who possess zero understanding of wildlife safety protocols. We witness these dangerous encounters repeatedly throughout each tourist season. But this particular incident involving a family and a resting bison might represent the most egregious example of tourist stupidity we've documented to date. The disturbing footage reveals a mother positioning herself directly in front of a massive bison, completely turning her back toward the potentially lethal animal, which ranks as an absolutely mind-boggling decision. She proceeds to place her fingers atop her head, apparently attempting to imitate the distinctive horns of the enormous creature resting mere feet away. And this is the part most people miss. What happened next elevates this situation from merely foolish to downright criminal negligence. Moments after her own reckless photo session, this mother actively encouraged her young child to approach the 2,000-pound wild animal and participate in the dangerous photo shoot. The resulting video footage proves so cringe-worthy and unbelievable that viewers might question its authenticity. Yet every terrifying second represents genuine reality. This life-threatening scenario unfolded despite numerous explicit warnings from fellow tourists shouting at them to stop, plus clearly posted safety signage throughout the park area. The individual recording this incident could barely comprehend what they were witnessing, audibly expressing their disbelief. Maybe the worst I've ever seen. Not the kid, not the kid. No, 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 no. Official National Park Service guidelines explicitly instruct all visitors to maintain a minimum distance of 25 yards from animals classified as non-aggressive. This category encompasses bison, elk, and similar creatures generally considered relatively calm, though calm remains an extremely relative concept when discussing wild animals weighing over a ton. For genuinely dangerous predators like bears, wolves, and other apex hunters, the NPS mandates a much greater 100-yard safety buffer. Here's my controversial take. Perhaps park officials should implement that 100-yard minimum distance requirement for every single wild animal, regardless of their perceived threat level. Why? Because Yellowstone National Park issues far too many press statements explaining how yet another oblivious tourist dangerously approached wild animals within park boundaries, then suffered predictable consequences. Miraculously, this particular mother and child managed to escape their foolish encounter without physical harm. According to the person who captured this entire incident on camera, they were preparing to confront the irresponsible family about endangering their child when a park ranger arrived to address the situation. This one was next level. I got out when the kid came to join the mom and tell them how unsafe it was, but the ranger was just walking up to them. All of this reckless behavior occurred solely for a social media photo opportunity. Ultimately, Every parent's fundamental responsibility involves protecting their children from harm. Yet this woman accomplished the complete opposite while visiting one of America's most famous national parks. Yellowstone isn't a controlled petting zoo environment where animals are domesticated and safe for human interaction. Perhaps park entrance signs should feature that exact message in bold, unmistakable lettering. This is not a petting zoo. But here's what really gets me fired up. Are we enabling this dangerous behavior by simply shaking our heads and moving on? Should there be real consequences for parents who use their children as wildlife photography props? What's your take on this? Do you think parents who endanger their kids for social media content should face legal consequences? Or am I being too harsh on what might just be a moment of poor judgment? Sound off in the comments. I'm genuinely curious whether you think we need stricter enforcement or if education alone can solve this epidemic of tourist stupidity.